Hey there, welcome back to the garage. In day 5, if you're following along, I've been kind of teaching myself how to weld. And I got one of these little project kits. It's really going to be a paperweight more than anything. But I took it as an opportunity to really practice on my outside corners. Outside corners are the hardest for me. I think they are for, I don't know, for everybody maybe. So the first thing I had to do was really prep the material, get all the mill scale off, kind of clean up the edges and just make it well. That's what I'm learning is super critical, to get the pieces weldable and then get them fitted properly. So once I got all of these pieces kind of polished up and cleaned up the way I wanted and got them ready to weld, I decided to tack the outside corners all the way around before I welded anything. On a previous attempt, I did pretty good, but I was tacking and welding one whole side, tacking and welding one whole side. That didn't work out so good. So I decided to tack the entire thing on all the corners first and then go back and weld the side. Getting the first corner right was really a trick. So I used magnets and a various fuse. I kind of fussed around with it for a little bit to really get the dimensions as close as I could get them on the first one. And then from there, it just got progressively harder. This is 1/8 inch material. So I dialed the setting. I took what I was using for 1/8 inch steel, and then I dialed that back since I was doing this outside corner and didn't want to burn through. So a lot of you guys commented about focusing on wire speed, and there's a lot of stuff online. That seems to be, I'm learning that's the trick with MIG welding, is you kind of start with your thickness of your material and wire speed, and you work your voltage and amps from there to get it the way you need it. And then for outside corners, you kind of dial that down. I will say that I found some charts online that I use to kind of calculate, but I will say that the Art Captain MIG 200 seems to run a little hot. So if the industry standard, if you will, for 1/8 inch material is 200 inches per minute, let's say it is. I think that's pretty close to that. I set the Art Captain at like 185, and that seemed to run a lot better. Otherwise I was burning through. Once I got my first 3 pieces kind of set, I went ahead and tacked all 8 corners. Yeah, 8 corners. 8 corners, 12 edges. The trick came in when I added, I forget which one it was now, when I added in so I had 3 sides, and then I added in the 4th. With each corner that I tacked and I added pieces in, it became more and more challenging to keep it square. Did the best I could. It's a little lopsided, but it turned out okay. I did take my time to let the piece cool in between each one of the tacks, and then also each side. I let the piece cool down to where I could comfortably touch it. It was still warm, but it wasn't like super duper hot. The second weld that I did, I just completely missed this one. It kind of hung down and drooped down along the bottom, blew a big hole in it. So I went back and just ground that off and redid it later on. So I did correct that one. The rest of them, I pretty much stayed straight on where I needed to be. Some of them turned out pretty good. I was using a little bit of motion to try to keep my straight line. I think on outside corners, it's best if they're really thin like this, to run just a straight bead, or a stringer bead, I guess, without the movement. But I was more comfortable doing the movement. I wanted to practice it. All in all, this was a pretty fun piece to make. I had previously attempted a much larger version, and I don't remember if I made a video about this or not, but it was awful. These welds were horrible because I was set way too hot for outside corners. I didn't fit them correctly. It was complete junk. This one turned out a little better. It's kind of fun. What I am going to do is go ahead, and since it's really a paperweight, if you will, I'm going to grind and polish all these corners and really see what this thing looks like once I get it all cleaned up, and see if it see if it looks as good as I'm hoping it does. I'm gonna use a flap disc for this instead of this fiber strip disc, just because it'll trying to grind away all of this weld, it'll eat up 3 or 4 of those. So they're good for like kind of cleaning up, but as far as actual grinding, that's not what you want to use. So there you have it. That turned out pretty good. What did I focus on this time? I focused on wire speed and stick out and trying to be consistent. So still working on all the angles and all the different little math equations that go into creating a good weld. Obviously, I have no idea if this is structural, has any structural integrity or not. Don't care. It was fun to make and it was some good practice. So I appreciate you guys watching. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more of this craziness. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. See ya.